Okay, so Tottenham Hotspur looking for a new manager. There's also plenty of movement activity in the transfer market with that first bonus transfer window closing on Tuesday. Mark McAdam is back, and we've got some new news regarding a potential incoming for Arsenal.
Yeah, huge news for Arsenal fans.
The story of this summer's Premier League transfer window is filled with eye-catching moves, staggering fees, late drama, and long negotiations, yet through all of that, one name has stood out as a true winner: Eberechi Eze. At a time when clubs across England were scrambling to strengthen their squads with international stars and emerging prodigies, the most decisive piece of business arguably came in the form of securing the future of one of the most naturally gifted and dynamic players already thriving in the league. For Crystal Palace, for Eze himself, and for the reputation of English football's ability to nurture and retain top talent, this was not just another transaction, it was the defining move of the summer window. Eberechi Eze has been steadily rising in stature ever since he first made his mark in the Premier League. His combination of flair, confidence, creativity, and work ethic has drawn attention not just from fans of his own club but from managers, pundits and scouts across Europe. When a player like Eze begins to consistently shine in a team that is often forced to punch above its weight, the expectation is that one of the so-called Big Six will eventually swoop in to secure his signature. That narrative seemed to be forming in the background during the early weeks of the summer, as speculation mounted over potential suitors and whispers of big money bids circulated. Yet instead of a departure, what unfolded was a commitment to continuity, with Palace moving decisively to keep their talisman and, in doing so, winning the transfer window in their own right. The context of this decision makes it even more significant. The Premier League has been defined in recent years by aggressive spending and relentless turnover, with clubs treating windows like auctions. Palace, however, have always had to be shrewd, carefully balancing ambition with stability. They cannot compete with the enormous financial power of Manchester City, Chelsea, or even Tottenham when it comes to headline-making fees. What they can do, though, is ensure that their most prized asset feels valued, backed, and central to the club's long-term vision. Retaining Eze symbolized not only their determination to remain competitive but also their ability to resist the temptation of a quick payday. For a player whose value will only continue to rise, this was an act of foresight as much as it was a statement. Eze's own trajectory makes the story even more captivating. His journey from youth football through rejection, perseverance, and eventually carving out a career in the Premier League has been one of resilience and brilliance. He has always been the type of player who can turn a game with a single moment of ingenuity. His dribbling style, close control, and fearlessness when carrying the ball have made him a nightmare for defenders and a delight for supporters. Those attributes are precisely why other clubs were circling, but also why Palace doubling down on him feels like the most successful move of the summer. Instead of selling to strengthen several areas, they chose to keep the individual capable of defining matches on his own, and that decision resonates more powerfully than any incoming signing. For Eze himself, winning the transfer window is not just about being retained, it is about the platform it gives him. By staying where he is trusted and admired, he positions himself to be the absolute centerpiece of his team's project. Unlike at a larger club where he might have had to fight for consistent starts or adjust to a system not designed around him, Palace guarantees him responsibility and freedom. That kind of environment can accelerate his development and put him in the best possible position to break into the England setup with greater frequency and influence. The upcoming seasons, with tournaments looming and opportunities for international recognition abundant, are perfectly aligned for a player like Eze to flourish when he is consistently trusted to lead a side. From the perspective of the Premier League as a whole, the decision reverberates as well. The league has often been accused of undervaluing homegrown flair players, with many given little patience compared to foreign imports carrying hefty transfer fees. Eze's story contradicts that narrative. He is living proof that English football can nurture artistry, that the league can create space for entertainers as well as industrious workhorses, and that retaining players of his mold is just as vital as buying the next superstar from abroad. While other clubs spent heavily on players from Europe and South America, the most significant retention was that of an Englishman already proving himself week in, week out. Supporters have felt this deeply too. Every fan dreads the moment when their star player leaves for a bigger stage, especially when the financial imbalance makes such outcomes seem inevitable. For Palace fans, Eze remaining represents more than just football, it is hope, loyalty, and ambition materialized. It tells them that the club sees itself as capable of building with quality rather than constantly rebuilding after sales. That sense of pride, of looking forward to a season knowing your brightest talent is still wearing your colors, cannot be measured solely in financial terms. In an era where fans are often left frustrated by the ruthless business side of the sport, Palace gave their supporters a victory that resonates far beyond transfer speculation. One of the strongest reasons why this business has been declared a success is the timing. Palace secured Eze's future at a moment when the transfer market was frenzied, when other clubs were spending record sums and inflating the value of players. Amidst the noise of billion-pound windows, this was a calm and calculated act of reassurance. It did not come across as reactive or desperate but rather as preemptive and strategic. By eliminating uncertainty around Eze early enough, Palace not only sent a message to rivals but also built a platform of stability for their squad heading into the campaign. Eze's technical qualities also make him the perfect symbol of why this move matters so much. He is not just a hard worker or a squad option, he is the type of player managers design systems around. His vision allows him to unlock stubborn defenses, his confidence allows him to take risks others would shy away from, and his versatility makes him valuable in multiple tactical approaches. In a footballing world where creativity often feels stifled by rigid structures, Eze embodies freedom. Protecting a player like that is not simply about numbers on a score sheet, it is about safeguarding identity. Palace know that with him in their ranks, they can always believe in turning games their way, and that belief is priceless. There is also a sense that Eze himself has matured into this role, making the business even more rewarding. Earlier in his career, he might have been seen primarily as a raw talent, a luxury player capable of highlights but still learning the finer details of the game. Now, he has added layers to his performance: improved decision-making, better defensive work rate, and consistency across 90 minutes. Those developments mean that the Eze Palace have retained is not just a promising prospect but a genuine Premier League star ready to influence the season at the highest level. Clubs that hesitated or failed to prize him away may soon regret missing the chance before his value climbs further. The long-term vision behind this move also aligns with broader ambitions. Palace have often been seen as a side hovering between safety and occasional overperformance. To shift that perception, they need cornerstones around which to build, and Eze is precisely that. By keeping him, they lay the foundation for progress rather than stagnation. It gives them something to offer future signings too, the assurance that they are joining a project where the best talents are protected, not sold off at the first sign of interest. That can change the dynamics of how a club is perceived in the market, turning them from a stepping stone into a destination. The idea of Eze winning the transfer window is also tied to the broader narrative of individual triumphs in football's business side. Often, transfer windows are judged by the players who move for huge sums, the ones splashed across headlines with record-breaking deals. But football is not only about arrivals and departures, it is about continuity, about retaining and nurturing what already exists. In that sense, Eze becomes the standout winner because his situation embodies the value of loyalty, the importance of timing, and the significance of vision. It shifts the focus from extravagance to smart decision-making, from glamour to substance. Looking ahead, this business sets up the new season with fascinating anticipation. Every touch of the ball Eze takes will feel like proof of Palace's resolve, every performance a reminder that keeping him was worth more than signing anyone new. Should he inspire Palace to memorable victories, to higher league finishes, or even to a deep cup run, the narrative will only strengthen that they did not just retain a player, they retained possibility. His success on the pitch will validate the decision made in the boardroom, creating a synergy between footballing brilliance and administrative foresight. In the end, the phrase winning the transfer window is often overused and typically attached to clubs spending the most money or signing the flashiest names. But this summer, the most meaningful victory came from a different angle. Eberechi Eze did not change clubs, he did not generate headlines for a fee, and yet he emerged as the figure who defined the window.